All right, I'm going to move on to this next story, which kind of carries over a little bit from the whole Paul Feig thing. You know, Paul Feig.
Jesus Christ.
The icon of masculinity. So this makes me chuckle because I'll read the headline and we'll go back to it because the New York Post put a fantastic spin on it to begin with. But MSNBC's Jen Psaki tells Doug Emhoff he reshaped the perception of masculinity after it was revealed he cheated on his first wife with the nanny. So fun little spin there. We're going to take a look at this, but this is one of those stories that I don't want you to get hung up in the subject matter. Okay, which we are going to cover. But be a Harris supporter or not, this is what I want you to see. MSNBC is mainstream media. See how they play into one side of the political spectrum and demonize the other. That's what I really want you to take away. And if you go back and look at my past shows, anytime I talk about the media like this, that's the biggest thing I talk about. Not that, oh, they don't like Trump, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care if they like Trump or not. It's their job as mainstream media to be more fair and less biased than say I am. But when I come to you with facts, I do my best to be unbiased and I present everything as factual and right down the middle as I can. Now, when I give my opinion or I read something or I kind of see it through the perspective from my own personal bias, it may pick up a little bit of that in there. But you know what my bias is. I'm a fairly conservative dude, mostly conservative dude. I do share some, ideology with the left a little bit, some visions, some hopes, some dreams of things that we can do, but we can't get there tomorrow if we don't take care of today. And that's where I align a lot with conservatives. They want to get us there, but we got to get through today. We got to survive, and we're not surviving right now, in my humble yet accurate opinion. This is the media doing what they do best: programming, controlling, manipulating, disinformation, misinformation. You throw any label on it you want to, but this is them trying to force you to believe a narrative because all of them are on board, even ones that you may not think are. So we'll read through this real quick. We're not going to read the whole thing. We're going to just kind of skim over it. But again, something else I've said before that ties into this is that masculinity. I've always said that families are under attack. Masculinity is significantly under attack in this country, nay, the world. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in this article. And like I said, we're not going to hang out here too long. But of course, y'all remember MSNBC's Jen Psaki? She used to be the White House press secretary. And then she got a job with them, but she was still working as the press. It's almost like there was a conflict of interest and nobody held her accountable for it, even though they asked about it. Oh, well, moving on. Nothing to see here. How long is this? 30 seconds. Why not? Let's play it. Make sure you guys can hear it. Here we go.
Been an important part.
Maybe Jim Psaki. Are you gonna play it for me, Jim Psaki? How embarrassing! Even on the internet, she can't get her words together. Hardy har har. Let's refresh it. Let's see if we can get her to do what she does best. There she goes. Talk to me, girl.
Something that has also been an important part and interesting.
Retard alert! Retard alert, class!
I didn't know she was going to do that. That whole not getting the words together and stuff. I was joking because the video was buffering. Talk about foreshadowing.
Something that has also been an important part and an interesting part of how people have talked about your role here is how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. And I'm not sure you planned on that, but you are an incredibly supportive spouse. Has that been an evolution for you? And do you think that's part of the role you might play as first gentleman?
It's funny. I've started to think a lot about this. I've always been like this. My dad was like this. And to me, it's the right thing to do.
There's nothing about what that man just said. The way he said it with such gravitas and basically limp-wristedness. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I've seen him walk. I've seen him talk. I've seen the way he carries himself. I've seen the way he talked at the DNC about his wife and about his family and everything. God bless a man who loves his family. But I don't think they understand what the word masculinity means. And I'm starting to think that a lot of Democrat liberal women didn't grow up in a house with a masculine father or with a father at all, possibly. Because they probably wouldn't be liberal. They'd see through it. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's read a little bit about how freaking masculine this dude is. It just talks like this. He's like, I'm just going to support my wife and take a back seat and just let her do her thing and be some. I support my wife. I do most of the cooking in this house. One, because I'm fantastic at it. Okay. Two, I enjoy it. It's very therapeutic for me. You know. Three, I know I'm not going to be poisoned. But I enjoy doing the cooking. So I do most of the cooking in the house. I take care of, a lot of the stuff around here that directly impacts me. And she takes care of some other stuff. As far as like I do my own laundry, she does her laundry and our little girl's laundry. I'll do the linens and stuff. Like we try to work together on so much around the house. I don't think that's necessarily masculine or feminine. I think that's just part of being a supportive spouse. But they're going to do everything they can to tie into masculinity to try to redefine it, just like they've redefined, just normal straight dudes. We're cisgendered, I guess. I'm still confused about what all this crap means. There's too much of the stupidity out there. Anyways, MSNBC host Jen Psaki is being mocked on social media for praising second gentleman Doug Emhoff as someone who reshaped the perception of masculinity, despite the recent revelation that he impregnated his child's nanny during his first marriage. Whoa. I don't know about masculinity, but it's kind of a bitch move, dude. Kind of a bitch move. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. Psaki, the former White House press secretary under the current Biden administration, again, no conflict of interest there when she was hired, interviewed Emhoff, the husband of Vice President Kamala Harris, during the most recent installment of Inside with Jen Psaki. I wanted to say Inside Jen Psaki so bad. Oh, I think Sean will get a good chuckle out of that, won't you, buddy? Which aired Sunday afternoon on the Comcast-owned left-leaning cable network. Go get him, New York Post. About halfway through the 15-minute sit-down with the potential first gentleman, Psaki brought up how your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity. Look, and again, there's so many things I want to take away from this story. One, there's nothing masculine about this dude. There's none of, they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes and manipulate you into thinking masculinity means something it doesn't. That pisses me off. The other thing is mainstream media sucking it up with Doug Emhoff over here. Have you seen him with Melania Trump? Have you seen him with J.D. Vance's wife? Have you seen him getting friendly and cozy with Trump or Vance? No. They hate them. So they're not going to do anything that could possibly shed a good light on them while they're going to basically blow these guys on camera. I'm sorry, that was graphic. That's how much they love them, though. They're going to do everything they can to build them up. These guys make me sick, mainstream media. Psaki praised Emhoff as someone whose role has reshaped. Praised. The verbiage at New York Post is doing is fantastic here. That's exactly what it is. Look at her. She's like, can I be your next babysitter? Give it to me, hot stuff. Aside from her being a redhead, that maybe, I don't know. Maybe she got them crazy eyes is all I'm saying. Let's see. And I'm not sure you plan on that, but you are an incredibly supportive spouse. Again, doesn't necessarily mean masculine. I've seen very effeminate men be very supportive spouses. You guys don't understand what masculinity means. You can't even begin to try to apply that to somebody else. When you're talking about, let's see, with Kamala and I, it's mutual. We support each other. We have each other's back. Hold on. With Kamala and I, it's mutual. We support each other. We have each other's back, he said. And when we lift up women and support women with pay equity, child care, family leave, women should not be less than. Shut up. I can agree with a lot of this if it were, based in reality and not manufactured, as a lot of these are manufactured talking points. And that doesn't make me masculine or effeminate to believe this. None of this applies to the masculinity argument. It's just, let me make more talking points to see how much I love women. Yeah, he loves women so much, he knocked up his babysitter. Like, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? You don't hate the mainstream media enough. Go back and watch the VP debate. CBS, who hosted it, came out looking significantly better than ABC right from the jump. We're like, okay, this is going to be good. So far, so good. Not as bad as ABC. But when you actually go back and listen to the questions they ask, how they were pointed questions, how they were specifically worded questions, how they fact-checked, incorrectly, by the way, but fact-checked when they said they wouldn't because that was the rules that were agreed upon, mostly probably to protect Waltz, but I digress. They broke the rules, they did their thing, and you hear the media right there trying to run cover for Waltz, giving Vance a disadvantage. Go back to the ABC one with Trump and Harris. Same thing. It was 3-on-1. We did the live stream for that one, and the whole night we were mad, pointing it out how all-sided it was. It was 3-against-1 on that one. Again, Trump didn't do his best that night, and I have no problem with criticizing anyone and everyone at any point in time, because that's what I do. But it's kind of difficult when it's 3-against-1. So go back and watch that one too. It's just, the mainstream media is consistently lying to you, and their fact checks are BS. And when CNN came out saying, I think it was, he lied like 30 something times and she only lied like one time or whatever it was something stupid and ridiculous. During the live stream, me, Robert, Sean, and I want to say maybe even still while Chris from Chris's World was on there, we were fact checking her on multiple things. For CNN to say 1 plus, maybe 1.5. They're being selectively manipulative on how they do this. They manipulate you. Over here, we're going to show the positive. Over here, for this person, we're only going to show the negative. Go look at how they're covering the candidates. What was it? Don't remember the numbers right off, so forgive me. I didn't know I was going to mention this. But it was like 80-something% of coverage has been positive for Harris versus 80-something% of coverage has been negative for Trump across the line with almost all mainstream media. Okay? That's not fair and balanced. That's not the way it's supposed to be. How can you be the most trusted name in news when you're pulling crap like that? So they're not going to hear me. They're never going to see this, but you are. And you have friends that look to them as a trusted network. Now, I may not be the bee's knees when it comes to all this, but I'm significantly more honest and transparent. I have my links down in the show notes below to everything that I'm referencing here. Okay. You got plenty of other people you can go look to. Dan Bongino, Steven Crowder, The Quartering. God, so many people, of course, the Washcast, Spin Cycle, all with Robert Herr. You got Studio Jake. He covers some of this stuff outside of the entertainment stuff that he does. I mean, there are so many different sources. Liberal Hive Mind, Don't Walk Run Productions, Mark freaking Dice, dude. Mark Dice is awesome. There are just so many that you can go watch that do a better and more honest job than mainstream media. Just saying. Just saying. And you are seeing this, so you share it with your friends. Share it with those people that are watching this garbage and just taking it in as fact and not questioning anything. Boy, I tell you what, if you don't question things in life, they get mad about Trump questioning the 2020 election. But you know, it's our God-given right, and it's built into us to question things. We should be questioning our elected officials. We should be questioning our election security. We should be questioning, hey, I'm a Christian. Guess what I do? I question my faith. Guess what people that aren't Christian do? They question my faith. They question other faiths. They question science. That's how we discover things. That's how we find out things. To debunk it, to dispute it, to recognize that it's correct, whatever. It doesn't hurt to question things, but mainstream media doesn't want you to do that. I want you to do that because I want what's best for you. And if I only cover half a story and I do it poorly, I'm hoping of the people that I just mentioned and people that you already know that I mentioned then in my network, outside of my network, but I still watch whatever. You can find the full story between the 3 or 4 of us or whatever. You can put the pieces together and say, so that's what's really going on. You're not going to get it on CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, maybe in Fox News, whatever. Just saying, you don't hate the mainstream media enough.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.